What's up, guys? I hope you're all doing very well. Welcome to my WWE Payback 2023 predictions video. Got the same setup if a user not used to the way I lay out the videos. I've got the same setup. I've trying to get like an entire base of the background a bit better, so hopefully it looks a bit better. You can see a bit of the too much of the background that you don't see on my Twitch live streaming, but that's I think I do a lot better on those because it's straight from the console itself. So I'm hoping this is a bit better, but I'm definitely looking to improve it. But I hope this looks fine, guys. I hope the sound is good actually as well. And yeah, I hope the lighting's a lot better. The lighting should be a lot better though, because I've got the main light right near me. But when I do my live streams, I've got the main light quite far away, so the lighting can fade out a bit. So I'm hoping this one's a lot better. But as you can see, I'm revving my Liv Morgan merch. I thought I'll do that as it's a wrestling for a wrestling video. I'm definitely looking to get some more merch. It does cost a bit though, but if you have got any merch at the moment, post in the comments, guys. What sort of merch that you all have at the moment? I would love to hear it, guys. But if you are very new here and you're not sure how I set things up, we do of the match cards. We do a slideshow, and each match that is so I put the matches my least favourite to my most favourite. So as you can see, I put the tags on here not because I'm not intrigued in the match itself, but because we've seen it lots of times on Raw. So those sort of matches, I'm not going to be as hyped as I am going to be for some other ones. But each match is from like lowest hype to the highest hype for me. So that's the way I've balanced out this. And we do it by a clicking scheme as well. So I've got each match on the top left. So each time we finish talking about that match, we'll click to the next one. So I hope you like that kind of way that I set it up, and I hope that's good, guys. But yeah, I would love to hear your thoughts on this show, guys. I've seen quite a few people are not too hyped about it, and I'm a bit surprised by it. And the reason being, I'll say why I'm very hyped for it. And the reason for why I'm very hyped for it is number one, no bloodline, which means more time for all of the other matches. Because the bloodline, as much as I love that faction, it takes up way too much time on the show itself. Their matches take at least, we're not even talking just the matches, I mean the entire lot of how long it takes them to get down to the ring, how long they do the video, build for it all. It takes so long. It takes at least about 40 to 50 minutes per each match that they're in. So you ain't got any of that on this show. So all the other time is going to go into the other matches. Hence why they've added Becky and Trish onto this show than they didn't do on the last one. So they're trying to give more time to matches that us fans will actually go and care for. So for once, I will actually praise them for doing that. And secondly, since that Triple H, as well as some other parts of the management, has took over, they ain't had one bad pay-per-view. Not one. Like you can say you don't like certain things on a show, but they've never actually had a bad show. It's always been at least a 7 and above. They have not, like in the old way of doing things, when you had Vince, when he was running it, there was sometimes you would feel like, what the hell did I just waste my time watching this for? I've not felt that with Triple H's booking and with the new management. I've not felt that. So that's where I'm very intrigued, guys. But let's jump straight into the main stuff. I don't want to go on too long about that sort of stuff. I'll go on for ages. So let's go into the first match, and we do it from least hyped to the most hyped. And I'll try and not talk too much per per match, so then we can get through to like the really good stuff. But the first one, which I think should kick off the show, it will set for tempo, which I think is the tags. This I'm used to saying it's just for the Raw tags because they're on Raw, but no, it's for Raw and SmackDown. Which I'm hoping they do merge these titles and make new fresh ones, because those titles look horrendous. They look terrible. Um, Definitely not a fan. I really think they need to change that as well as they change the others. But this match, I just feel it's quiet. We're tired of it, because if you watch Raw, how many times are they going to close the show with Sami Zayn and Owens versus the Judgment Day? How many times are we gonna see this same old match be done, but in a different way? And the odd occasion they'll shove a Rhodes in, or they'll shove someone else in just to mix it up. But can't they do these things without keep doing the same matches? And that's why this week on Raw was something fresh, because we got an Owens return. They didn't do a main event match, which was amazing that they didn't do the main event match. And then we got the women's to go and close the show. You had Becky and Zoe Stark, I think it was. So that was really good. It had a different pacing. But in terms of this match, it's a tough one to call, because if it's a normal match, I'm going with the champions. But because it's a street fight, and I don't know, man. I've got a feeling that the titles are going to change hands, because they want the Judgment Day to hold all of the gold. And there was a thing that Rhea said on Raw as well. She was like, if you don't win this match, you don't win the titles, we're going to make some changes in the Judgment Day. And are they willing to do that right now? I don't know. I'm gonna play it safe and say Owens and Zayn retain, but I'm not too confident. Let's just say if they was to do it the other way, I would not be surprised. I am edging towards the Judgment Day winning this, just because it's a no rules match and it's a straight fight. But I feel Rhea and Dom might not be there because of the they're focusing on Rhea's match, and we'll talk more about that one a bit later on when we get round to that match. But I'm going with the champs to keep the gold as long as they're on before the Rhea match. If there's no no one gets involved in the match itself, Owens and Zayn have this, and I think it's gonna ask some questions about Priest and Finn, and I think it's gonna come down to that. But I'm going with the champs to keep the gold here. And then we go on to the next one, which is Rey Mysterio, who is the US champion, takes on Austin Theory, who's the former US champion. This is a match, I'll be honest, guys, I ain't got a lot of hype for it. I'm not the biggest fan of Austin Theory at the moment. I think his character is very stale. I felt he had one of the worst reigns I've ever seen for a US champion. I was not happy in the slightest. It was literally the same. It was the same matches. Just there was just row ups. That was what it was with Austin. But then you had Rey to win the belt, and I think they got a good storyline going on with Rey and Santos. And what I'm praying for is Rey wins here. No heel turn for Santos just yet. Do not do anything silly. And focus on Rey and Santos, and at some point it should be the LWO turn heel, and they side with Santos, and they go against Ray, and then that's when it's like the world is against Ray, and that's when Ray's at his very best. That's the path I'm hoping they take here. But in terms of this match, you'll know it's going to be a good match. They're both good talents in the ring. I just don't care for Austin at the moment. Don't care for his character. I just think he's so stale. Everything they're trying to do, I just think you put Grayson in that spot. I think he does a lot better. I'm I'm not sure what it is with Austin Theory at the moment. It's better than his last character that he had with that selfie character that was written by Vince, but this can be a really good character, but it's the same booking, it's the same finish every match that he has. So I'm praying that Ray wins here. I'm hoping he doesn't keep the belt. If he keeps the belt, I think that's a massive L for them, and not because of what Austin Theory can do. We know he's good in the ring, but if his character work is not there, fans are tired of him at the moment because lots of people don't like his work on the mic. I just don't think it's the right time for him, and they're going to have to go back to what works for him, and they're going to have to work it out. I know they're trying to get him and Grayson to team up. I think they've got something good there. I think they should definitely be looking to aim at that a bit more. I really liked what they was doing with that. So I think that's something that they could do in the meantime. If that means Grayson gets a shot at Ray next, that'd be really cool. But I think play it safe. Just go and keep the belt on Ray. That is my thoughts on that. And no heel turn. I think it's too early. Then we go on to the third match. Absolutely pumped for this one. I probably should have put this a lot higher. Probably should have put the Becky and Trish one here. But this is one of my most anticipated matches of like the entire show. If I was to rank the matches I'm most hyped for, this is probably just behind the main match, which will close this show. But I think I've had a hard think about this because I've been thinking, okay, they've had Miz looking really good. They've had LA Knight looking very good because they're both very good on the mic. But will they have LA Knight to lose to the Miz? At first, I was like, no, there's no way in hell you have Miz beat LA Knight. But when you think about it, the upcoming shows that they've got going on, how many like who's next for LA Knight? Like that's what you got to think about. It's like you want LA Knight to be the next big star. Are you gonna waste it in a feud that is looking really good for him? And I think they're gonna drag this one out. So I'm going with Miz. I'm going with Miz to beat LA Knight, but it's not gonna be clean. They could have LA Knight win, and then Miz does something, I don't know, and then that keeps a feud going. But I just think they're gonna go with the simple, the heel find a way to go and beat the odds, and they're gonna do something along those lines, I think. But I'm not too sure if I'm being honest. But I don't think this is gonna be like a 5 out of 5 match. But in terms of the way they're telling this, like the build has been brilliant. The way they've been hyping it up on the mic, the video, like build's been fucking brilliant. Very sorry for that cursing, but I think they've done a really good job, and I think this match will be a good match. I don't think it's going to be great. I think it's going to do what it needs to do. We know the Miz is a good wrestler, not a great wrestler, and same as LA Knight. I think he's a good wrestler, but not great. But they tell their arc and the art of their work in the ring, and a lot of that comes from their character as well as their mic skills, and they have enough in ring skills to go and carry their work that they do. So I think You go with Miz to win here. You carry this out to a bigger show. I'm not too sure where they carry that out to. Perhaps that gets LA Knight to be drafted to Raw, and then you get more of this. I think that's what perhaps they plan to do, but I'm going with Miz here. It's a risky one, but yeah. This match I've been very, very hyped about. Rhea versus Raquel. This has a lot going into this one. If you guys couldn't tell, I'm a big Liv fan. So, when they've chose to do the storyline of when they took Liv out, so Liv and Raquel lost their titles because Rhea basically costed them when she attacked them backstage. I don't, I, I wasn't mad on the way they did it though, because I don't think the kick to her knee for Raquel to be out for that long, I don't think it was that bad. She did a lot worse to Liv, which you saw later in. It wasn't later in the night. It was later. It was a week later. I think it was. It was. That was when. There was a picture going around that Liv messed up her shoulder. Her shoulder. She was in a brace, so she had to take some time off. So then they had to write her off, and Rhea did that, and Liv sold the hell out of it. And then they've used that to go into this feud. So with Liv out at the moment, which I also wanted to also did want to bring up. If you've seen the advert for this show, that is 100% Liv's voice, 100%. I'm not sure that Liv is going to be there, but I think they had her to do a voiceover, just before she went away to have a break. I'll say have a break. I'll say to heal up. Like, to have a break just sounds really bad and lazy. But no, she's out of action. So then they put Raquel in that spot, which I'm so happy they're doing for her. And I don't think there's many women that can go toe to toe with Rhea Ripley in a physical face off, but she's one of them. I think the other one I'll say is Beth Phoenix, but apart from them two, I don't think there's many. And I think this match is. I really do think this is a match that's going to be. It's going to shock a lot of people. For one, they faced off in NXT, so they know each other. They know how each other moves around that ring. Two, they're not stale or they're not stiff. They're quick, and they're very good the way they move around the ring. They can move very well for their sizes. So this isn't going to be like a fucking Big Show versus a Great Khali or something. You know, like both women can move. Like they are very good for their size. And I'm not sure if I'll say this will be match of the night, but I think there's a lot to go into this. I think there's a lot of good build for this match that they've done. I don't think they meant for this match to be as built as it was, but then they used the when Liv got hurt, and they've used that to go into the premise of what's pushing Raquel in that sense. And I think they're using it very well. And you got the heat that Rhea took Liv at, and she's also using that. So you have solid build to go into this match. I'm expecting Rhea to retain. I don't think you change hands for the title, not anytime soon. I think Rhea's too hot at the moment because she's one of the most selling women in on the main roster at the moment. I think I see a stat the other day. It was like her videos on. I think it was TikTok. I think it was TikTok. She's reached the highest that anyone in the women's has. Now, when that happens, you're not going to take the belt off her. Like, they look at the numbers, they know she's money, and as good as Raquel is, I don't think you take that risk. I really don't. think it's going to be a solid match. You give them both a good showing, but Rhea comes out clean here. I don't think you see Liv Morgan anytime soon, because I don't think she's anywhere near to come back. But I think when the time is right, it's right there. The build is right there. And I also wanted to say this. My WrestleMania, I know it's really far away, but the WrestleMania match is right there. Liv and Rhea. It's right there. You have Liv win the Royal Rumble, and she chooses Rhea. The match and the build is all right there. It's up to them if they want to act on it or not. So, if you also think the same thing, guys, then definitely post in the comments, guys. But on to the next one. We've got Becky and Trish. This feud, I've got the same view as a lot of other people. This feud needs to end, and it needs to end soon. It's dragged out. It's not done well for Trish. It's not done well for Becky. They ain't got good. They don't belong in a ring with each other. It's like that they've got no. There's no bond with them. It's like they're both just so off cue with so many things. And they've had 2 matches. I think they've had, or it's like one match, and Trish just dodged Becky at every call basically, and the feud just needs to end. Like, you've had pretty much the same build for months. You've had the same old BS for months. The only thing that was different was this week on Raw, where you had Becky versus Zoe Stark. That's the only person I would say that's looking good coming out of this. Zoe Stark. Becky needs to be in the main event scene. I love that they're trying to do a women's feud without a title, which fans have been crying out for, and I absolutely love that. But on the same time, on that front, I think they've got to look at the bigger picture with all that sort of stuff, and they've got to see Trish. I don't know if Trish still has it. Trish can still go, but as a full timer, I'm not sure. Trish is good at what she does, but you can see the pacing and where she's slowing down. As much love that I've got for Trish, because she's one of the GOATs, she's one of the best that's ever done it. I know this is a match that she probably asked for, because she said when she first came back, she wanted to do matches that women were not given the chance to do. So she wanted to do a steel cage, and she wanted to do a Hell in a Cell. So perhaps she stays around for a Hell in a Cell or some sort of match that is like that. Or perhaps she does a ladder match or does something like that, and then she's done. I'm not going to be like, oh, she has to go soon. She has to go now. But I'm just seeing it as like, I'm not sure what she offers to the main roster right now. As good as she is, and she's one of the best to ever do it, I think she's slowing down Becky. I really do. I think in that sense she's been slowing down Becky. This feud has been crying out for a later return. It's been crying out for it, and I don't think we're going to get it. Because I think the way this ends, I think Trish comes away with a win. And the reason I say she comes away with a win is because if you guys have seen on NXT, a certain champion called Tiffany Stratton has been calling out Becky, basically saying because she's never won the title in NXT, that so she's never won the title, and Becky said, oh, I might actually have a crack at that. And I think that's what they're going to do, Becky and Tiffany for the title. And apparently it's been rumoured that Tiffany has been seen in close to the event, so there's a good chance that she gets involved here, and she sends a message to Becky. So that's why I'm going with Trish. Perhaps you have Becky to just go over and win clean, perhaps, but because they had a win against Zoe Stark, I'm going with Trish to win here. don't know if they will or not. It's kind of a tough one to call. It's a really close one, but yeah. I think I'm going with Trish just because of Tiffany. If there was no Tiffany, I would have gone with Becky. But yeah, I'm definitely going with Tiffany to win here. Well, for Trish to win here, sorry, and for it to be because of Tiffany. Then that gets Becky to wanting to go over to NXT next week. So that's my thoughts on that, guys. I don't think it'll be much more than that. Then we go on to the main event and the match that I think is going to steal the show. Well, two of the matches that I think can steal the show, because my first one is the match that will kick off the show, which was the tags. But I think the second one is this one. It's got the best build, the best, just the in-ring ability of both of these guys is amazing. I'm loving heel Nakamura. It's the best run he's had since probably his NXT days. And it's amazing, like, they finally thought, he struggles to speak our common tongue. What ways would that we be able to help him? Oh, I know. We have subtitles, so he actually can speak his common tongue in Japanese, and he can actually we can just use subtitles. Who would have thought? Literally, every wrestling fan has been calling out for this when it comes to the Japanese people that came over. So you got Nakamura, you got Asuka, Io. All those talents should have what they're doing for Nakamura. It helps him so much more, and it's shown in this feud. And they're playing on the back of Seth, which is the reason why he's going to lose it. I'm going with Seth to keep the belt, but I think Nakamura is going to be so close. I don't think this is where the feud ends. I think the whole premise of this is to show he's going to take Seth to the limit, but Seth isn't going to walk out. He's going to survive. And I think it's going to be neck and neck, and it's going to be so close. But I'm definitely going with the champ to keep the belt. If there's plans for him to step away, then I could see Nakamura winning. But at the moment, it doesn't seem like there's any plans for him to step away just yet. But I do think that he should get the back checked, and he should be taking time off soon. Because the issues that he's got in that back are not just to build this matchup. Like, they are proper things that he has going on with his back. But that's the end of this one, though, guys. That is all my thoughts. I don't think you'll get many returns or people to show up. I think the only one you probably have is for the Becky and Trish one, which is for Tiffany. So I don't think you'll get many stuff like that. Just can't see it to happen. But I think I really do think most people are very much they're not rating this show as much as I think they could. I think they're not doing a good enough job in that sense. Because I think this show's got so much to give, and for once it's less matches, which means they'll be given more time, and that ticks every single box of what they're trying to do. So if people actually have a brain, they will see this show's going to be good. I'm not sure if it's going to be one of the best shows of the year, but I think definitely around an 8. I do think this is going to be a solid show, and I think most people who are not giving enough praise, I think you should. Because there's no like big matches that's going to take up a whole lot of time, and if they do, there's still matches that are going to follow on. So you've got a good build around this show. This is where, like, I will literally say this, guys. This is where NXT was at its best. They had less matches, then they gave more time to the lesser matches. So they would have about 5 to 6 matches in the entire show, and that worked perfection for their shows. But definitely post your thoughts, guys. I'd love to hear your thoughts and views, guys. I'm going to wrap it up there, and I'll see how many I get right on this. But I hope you guys did all have fun, and I'll catch you on the next one, guys. Thank you to everyone that has checked out this video, and post in the comments your thoughts on this video, and your just basically your own people that you think's going to win these matches, and if there's any points that you disagree with me on, I'm very happy to talk about them, guys. Oh, and I also wanted to mention, I won't be watching this live. I'll be watching this the day after, because I'll be watching it with a mate. So I will be having to switch off or mute my social media, especially on here. So I will have to mute that. But hope you guys do love the show, and I'm gonna be checking out a bit later on. So, but yeah, if you are watching it live, I hope you have a great time, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thank you very much, guys. Bye bye.